Coming up on Mountain News at 6, an unsolved murder 30 years later. We'll hear from the family of the victims. Plus, several organizations are partnering for an event symbolizing resilience in Letcher County.
And live pinpoint Doppler radar showing a few stray showers across the area. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Stay with us.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
It's been 30 years now since a Southern Kentucky woman and her brother were found dead in a fence row after being reported missing several days before. Linda Gibson and Cody Lee Garrett's murders remain unsolved in Pulaski County. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke to relatives about the lack of justice in the case.
A 21-year-old simply walking from a Somerset store.
But she had a big heart. She had a good heart. She loved everybody.
Her 4-year-old half-brother was with her.
And little Cody, he was just so innocent, and he was pure at heart. He was a good little fella. I mean,
both were murdered after police say someone picked them up near the gas station Food Mart that's now Valero on Bourne Avenue. 4 days later, July 7th, 1994, their bodies were found in what's now the Village Green subdivision.
I know people out here knows. They still yet know, you know, they still won't talk about it because I believe that the killers are still alive.
In the 30 years since this crime happened, the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office has called in federal investigators and other help. There's been possible persons of interest named and talked about, but not enough to make an arrest. Clayton Gibson says their family has endured 30 years of heartache. He says he believes there's evidence against those responsible, just not enough to make an arrest.
You can't do something out here without somebody knowing it. Somebody knows it, you know, and somebody's seen them, and their family members know it, but yet they won't, you know, they won't tell on them or whatever. Gibson says he believes his sister knew things about certain people in Somerset, and they killed her and her half-brother over it. In Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
According to the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office website, people who have information that could lead to an arrest could be eligible for a cash reward. Now, we've also reached out to the Sheriff's Office today for comment on the current investigation, and they have not responded. In Powell County, a man is facing charges after he was reportedly involved in an altercation and fired several shots in the air. Deputies with the Sheriff's Office were dispatched to a home on Smallwood Road yesterday about receiving a complaint about shots being fired. After deputies arrived on the scene, they discovered 46-year-old Matthew Campbell left the home. Deputies removed several rifles from the home. Campbell was later arrested after police came back to the home. A Laurel County man is behind bars after deputies say he tried to resist arrest. Yesterday, deputies with the Sheriff's Office were dispatched to Ferriston Road after officials with the 911 center received a suspicious person complaint. When police arrived, they found Ronald Reams. During an investigation, Reams reportedly tried to resist arrest and even threw an object later identified as suspected meth. Reams was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center.
Well, as expected, we had a few splash and dash showers on the radar. Otherwise, we stayed mostly cloudy. Temperatures today were in the 70s and 80s. There you go. Numbers for today played out like this. 77 in Wise, 82 Jonesville, 81 in Manchester, London, Jackson, 84 degrees, 88 in Somerset, Monticello. Not right. You are actually warmer than 81 degrees because right now you're sitting at 88 degrees. 84 is the current temperature in Somerset, 85 Irvin, 80 in Jackson, Prestonsburg's at 83. We're at 82 in Hazard, 84 in Harlan, 75 in Wise. There's a stray shower across portions of eastern Kentucky to the north and northwest of London, across portions of Rockcastle County towards the Livingston area. The good news is no lightning is being picked up with these systems, or these cells, I should say. It's just some heavy rain being picked up. Also across portions of West Virginia, seeing a little bit of heavy rain at this hour as well. So the next 12 hours keeps temperatures in the mid-80s till we get to the 9 o'clock hour. We'll be at 79. By the time you join us tonight at 11, we'll hover around 75 to 77, and then upper 60s and low 70s by 7 a.m. When you wake up in the morning, we'll see temperatures in the 60s and 70s with mostly cloudy skies. Again, maybe a stray shower or two not out of the question tonight. I'll have your complete first alert forecast coming up in a few minutes. Steve.
Eric, thank you. We continue to keep an eye on this year's presidential race, and one of the big choices Vice President Kamala Harris will have to make if and when she accepts the Democratic nomination will be choosing a running mate. Governor Andy Beshear faced reporters during his Team Kentucky briefing today. Governor Beshear was asked why he is the person to make the case to Americans about Vice President Kamala Harris's ability to lead the country. Here was his answer.
We've had an ability here in Kentucky to cross the aisle. It's about talking to people and not talking at them. It's about being focused on the things they care about the most. That's not the issue of the day in D.C.
Reports say Governor Beshear is being vetted for the VP job along with about a dozen others. He says the vice president did call him just hours after President Biden announced he was dropping out of the race, and says he has not spoken with her since. Also, during his Team Kentucky briefing, Governor Beshear announced more than $1 million will go toward supporting projects in a couple of our counties. The Rockcastle County Fiscal Court will acquire land adjoining the Sparks property and complete site preparation. The Rowan County Fiscal Court will acquire 80 acres identified by an independent site selection consultant as having the potential for future investment and industrial development. Governor Beshear will make several stops in eastern Kentucky tomorrow, just ahead of this weekend's second anniversary of the July 2022 flood. I asked him earlier this week if he could give us a preview of what he'll be doing, and one thing he mentioned was an update on higher ground communities.
We're going to be giving updates on where we are on all of them. Certainly Skyview and Hazard, that road is getting up there. We're working on the water and the sewer right now. Chestnut Ridge and Knott County, we're going to have homes coming up. The utility work is getting into the property right now. The Wayland community in Floyd County, we're going to have almost all those homes filled by the end of the year, which is exciting.
We just got the schedule for the governor tomorrow. He will be in Floyd, Knott, Perry, and Breathitt counties, pretty much spending the entire day in eastern Kentucky. You can hear more from Governor Beshear about the flood anniversary. And my other guest is Housing Development Alliance Executive Director Scott McReynolds. That's on Issues and Answers Monday night at 7 here on WYMT. Even though it's been 2 years since deadly floods devastated parts of the region, for many families, the scars of the storm are just as fresh. More than 40 people lost their lives in the flooding. Farmer Baker survived the flood, but his wife Vanessa went missing in the water and has still not been found. Baker says he is still searching as he prepares to move into a rebuilt home in Breathitt County. We'll have much more of his story tonight at 11. And here are some stats provided by Governor Beshear regarding the flood today. FEMA has approved individual assistance for 8,775 survivors, totaling more than $110.5 million under the individual and household program. 138 bridges have been repaired or replaced, and $297 million have been secured in federal disaster recovery funds to help areas rebuild. Several organizations partnered today for an event symbolizing resilience in eastern Kentucky. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox has more from downtown Whitesburg, which was filled with blue.
Help End Addiction for Life, or HEAL, hosts an annual event showing strength through recovery. With the help of other partners, they were able to show support in recovery beyond addiction. As hundreds gathered in a sea of blue, Main Street in Whitesburg was shut down and a march began. HEAL President Sydney Whitaker says it is a recovery-oriented theme through the town.
We partner with the Cowan Community Center in the city of Whitesburg to put on this great event where we have 11 amp concerts, there's artwork, farmers market, our recovery march, resource booths. We have everything, something for everyone, no matter what type of recovery you're pursuing.
The march ended at the steps leading to Kane Kitchen, which were recently painted to symbolize recovery. The design for the stairs was created by Electric County artist Lacey Hale. And Whitesburg, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Coming up at 11, how working together can help folks through the recovery process. A grant worth $1.5 million has been awarded to Wise County, Virginia. The Appalachian Regional Commission awarded that grant, which will go towards a new sewer system for the Banner community. In a statement, Congressman Morgan Griffith says the grant will help deliver modernized sewer systems to the Banner community and protect water quality for those living there.
All right, here's a look at the weather headlines for tonight. That front that we've been talking about has finally pushed through. The temperatures will linger near normal for a couple more days. And hello weekend. We'll talk about that forecast in a few minutes.
And one theater in Pike County is hoping to provide a platform for musicians looking for their big break.